Frank Seravalli, Frankie boy, how we doing?
I am tired.
Yeah. 7-game series. It's all about, who can be there at the end. Who's got it left in the tank? You're one of those guys that still has it, buddy.
Hey, today is day 26 out of 30 that I've been gone. Ooh. And I'll just say this. Fan, player, hockey reporter, doesn't really matter. You live for days like yesterday.
Game 7.
Game 7.
An awful for game. A better 7. Opening 40. But.
yeah. It was.
What's? Were you not entertained
for the first 50 minutes?
I was underwhelmed by the Canucks effort.
Well, you could be underwhelmed by the Canucks effort, but first off, they traded chances like crazy in the first 10 minutes. The Canucks had a juicy 4-minute power play that they did nothing with to close out the first period. That, to me, is as good a first period as you can ask for in a game 7, where usually teams wade into it and try and feel each other out. That didn't happen. And then the Oilers took over from there. They played a pretty perfect first 52 minutes and then nearly absolutely shit the bed once again.
Yeah, I suppose it was... you know what? From where I was sitting, I suppose it just really didn't feel. I didn't feel that game 7 energy. Watching it on TV, sitting at home, it was a shit game, Frank. Like
if you were in the building and you sensed the nervous energy and being in this market, and more so being spending a lot of time in Edmonton, like think about what the Oilers were staring down.
Oh, I do understand.
The stakes were high. We understand the stakes. The game itself, how many shots do they have through 40?
The Mikheyev try in close, I don't think even counted as a shot on goal. That's a missed opportunity. And yeah, the 4-minute power play was a kick right in the stones. It just didn't. It didn't come across on my TV that way. I'm sure.
Well, you guys just have your Calgary Flames hats on. I don't know what to tell you.
That's not it at all. I mean, they had 2 shots on net in the first period, or whatever the hell
Canucks were underwhelmed. There's no one's disputing that, but to say that there wasn't enough entertainment in a game 7, I'm sorry, like that's insane.
Well, no, but Frank, if the Canucks play better, we have a better game. Agree? Like they didn't play well.
Sure, but like I said, there were plenty of elements to it that made it an enthralling game. If you have 20 minutes plus of it that you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, like how much more do you want? I'm sorry.
I've seen
way worse game 7s. Like
that's worse than we had this year. I mean, it's not close.
Okay.
No,
I think we should probably just move along.
We can move along. Because you were on the Boeser thing. That was, I mean, that's a blow too. Walk us through how that. I mean, what's you can treat it, but it's not like he's out of the woods. What's the update with Boeser blood clots? That whole thing.
Yeah, Rick Tocchet, I think, used the appropriate term, zapper. It zapped them of a bit of their mojo, I think. I mean, look, this was their leading playoff goal scorer. This was their certified Oiler killer. He had 9 goals in 10 games against Edmonton this year.
Yeah.
And you pull him out of the lineup with a fluke, tough blood clot that developed after game 6, had some pain in his leg. Doctors examined him, gave him some tests, and found the clot. Immediately placed on blood thinning medication, which ended his season. You need 3 months of that, and just a difficult time when you lose your playoff leading goal scorer on top of already not having your Vezina Trophy finalist goalie. That's pretty long odds for lots of teams to overcome.
So go ahead, Retro.
I had a hot take. I watched Pettersson's interview when he didn't say anything. And my opinion was
he said a lot.
Well, and everything he did or didn't say, I was appalled at and stunned at. Is there something more going on that we don't know about, or is this guy's personality, and how is that going to play out in a market like Vancouver if he doesn't give a shit? Because that's what it looked like.
I was surprised at how it played out because they tried to pick him up. They tried the whole Trey Turner, let's go PD chant in game 6 and game 7, or game 5 and game 7. I mean, this is a market that has turned on so many players. 15 months ago, they were trying to run JT Miller out of town.
Yep.
They are highly combustible here, and they eat their own. So to think that that's how the market responded for this player that at $11.6 million a year next year needs to be driving his own play. Like, the conversation can't be, oh, well, his line mates aren't any good. The biggest thing, I don't confuse Elias Pettersson as not giving a bleep. I don't think it's an issue of effort. I think he's afraid and soft. And that's a really toxic, dangerous combination. Watching one of the most talented players in the world get the puck on his stick and shovel it off as fast as possible to avoid contact is highly alarming. These are the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is the grind. And anytime any team smells any sense of blood in the water, they are going to feast on you, and they're going to make your life even more difficult than it was before. And that's continually what they tried to do. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how that happened, but the Canucks have some serious questions to answer this summer, personnel wise, and that's not even going to be at the top of their list.
You made a face. Are you good there, Rhett? Or
we can beat it up all we wanted, but again, it's going to end up being.
And it happens, right? This is now. So what's the story going to be? Is he going to be the player that gets over that hump? And early in his career, he was criticized, couldn't elevate, couldn't handle the rigors of the playoffs, and then breaks through. Or to your point,
how's Tocchet going to deal with it? Because it doesn't come across as the type of personality that Tocchet wants. I mean, he's going to have to work with it, but it doesn't seem like a Tocchet type of player.
No, and Rick Tocchet was exasperated. I mean, he just, at some point, he goes, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, that does not and will not play well with him. I think the toughest part for me to reckon with in talking about Pettersson is that he actually was a good playoff player before. Now, I know it's the bubble, but he had 18 points in 17 games. Like, this wasn't some guy that had shown signs of being soft before that all of a sudden is just like, why? How? Where'd that come from?
And so that's why I wonder if something bigger isn't happening off the ice, because, those are pretty harsh words for a hockey player to hear. Soft and scared, right? And if he wasn't that before and he is now, like, was this stage just too bright? Or do we not just think, like, man, I watched him answer questions so far in Logi. I'm like, this guy hates being a hockey player right now. Doesn't it scream of something bigger going on?
His body language, yeah, he's self-defeating. You can see when he takes a shot and misses the net, he can't flush it. And it seems like someone that's in their own head, but to suggest something like, I don't know anything more than what I can see. And to answer the question that everyone's been asking, hey, is he injured? There's no way the Canucks would throw him to the Wolves and allow him to eat bullets like that if he was.
Yeah.
I think there's a bunch of guys that are banged up. I think Ian Cole played through some crazy lower body stuff. I think Quinn Hughes is dealing with a right shoulder problem. He wasn't the same. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Elias Pettersson.
So Oilers Dallas, what did you make? It took a couple of goals by Dallas the other night to get through, but Dallas, not to say they didn't break a sweat, but they were dominant, clearly the better team. It was no fun for Colorado despite going to 6 games.
Well, when a team holds you to half of your chances off the rush that you got in the regular season and kills your bread and butter, it's going to be difficult to win. That said, it's a really interesting dynamic because everyone looks at this Western Conference final with Dallas as the clear favorite and says, oh, look at the Oilers and how much they struggled with the Canucks. I'll say 2 things. One, the Oilers struggled with the Canucks all year. Sometimes there's something to that. The Canucks finished the 11-game season-long series 7-4 against Edmonton. They had some circus-like wins in these playoffs. The Oilers, they couldn't get goaltending to save their lives. I mean, this could have been a quick series had they gotten even some modicum of stops. If they got an 870 save percentage, this is how low the bar is. An 870 save percentage, they would have been up 3-0 in the series to start. So sometimes you just struggle with a team. That said, when you look at the Stars, like, this was no cakewalk, and you are to say that they've been the total dominant team, I think, is to gloss over the fact that they were down 0-2 to the Golden Knights on home ice and nearly blew back-to-back 3-goal or more leads to open the series against the Colorado Avalanche. So they are a tremendous team. They are way deeper than Edmonton. The Oilers have to try and find some, way to get depth scoring that they haven't gotten to this point. But the Oilers also have a level that they can get to with Draisaitl and McDavid. Draisaitl is maybe the best playoff player that we've seen in the NHL in the last 40 years. Like, he's that good. Their level is just a bit higher than the Stars' top level, I think. The question is, how often can Edmonton get there? And what are they doing when the Stars find a way to clamp down on the Oilers' Stars?
Are the Stars going to be able to test Oilers goaltending more than Vancouver did? Because Vancouver just didn't get a lot of shots at all, but the Oilers actually do a pretty good job of hiding their, non-star net minding.
I think most people would be shocked to know that the Oilers are, right up there at the very top in high danger chances allowed, scoring chances allowed. They have defended actually quite well these playoffs, and that's across 2 series, not 1. So can they? They're going to need a lot more from their bottom 6, and I mean defensively. Ryan McLeod, the days of flybys are over. Dylan Holloway, he did a lot of heavy lifting. Matthias Janmark had a really good last 2 games of the series. Like, it's going to be all hands on deck to try and take down this Dallas team.
You have a plane to catch.
Yeah, I also have a pitch to make.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah. Can or should Flames fans pull for the Oilers as Canada's last team standing?
Can I ask a question to you, and we'll see how you respond?
Yeah.
If there's only one team playing left in Pennsylvania, should the whole state rally behind them and turn their support to the other team in the state?
No, but that's not really a great comparison.
It's a great comparison with 2 teams in the province. What are you talking about?
We don't think we invented hockey in Pennsylvania, so that's the difference. So my question is, as proud Canadians, does it mean anything to you guys that the Oilers?
No, I can interrupt you and not let you finish your question.
No, but I want to finish the question because it's really fun. It's fun.
No, you can mark us down as 0 for 3.
Okay.
On whatever tabulation you're doing.
That's why I want to ask, because this is the place to do it. If I don't do it here, where else am I going to do it?
Do not do it at all, because we will not be.
Yourself, Frankie.
Yeah,
the Oilers have 16 of 20 Canadians, the most in the salary cap era.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of Canadians.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I've hated the Oilers since my brother was 8 years old, and I will continue to hate them. And
what did he do to you?
He cheered for the Oilers.
Yes,
and we're brothers. What do you? No, it ain't work. It ain't happening. Still does. Sends me pictures of his kid in his dumb Oilers jersey last night. My sister does it with her kids. It's bad parenting. It's bad upbringing. And if you're not from Edmonton, you should not be part of it.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, the Oilers don't think it means anything either.
Yeah,
every year someone tries, though, Frank. It's been about 20
I know,
years.
and it's the cheesy, hokey question, except this time they actually, being full of Canadians, are actually truly Canada's team.
No, they're not Canada's team. They're Edmonton's
This is not the
team.
Olympics.
Edmonton can have them.
Yeah.
I did get some guy tweeting me today. You do realize it's not the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
How many of those Canadians would make the Olympics? 2, maybe? Bouchard and McDavid? Hyman, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Hyman would be in the
No
mix.
goalies? Maybe Skinner?
No, I mean,
Hmm.
did you see the way he's played? I mean,
I know.
isn't
There's
that
no
the
Canadian
ultimate
goalies.
indictment for the Canucks is you had Stuart Skinner re-enter this series after taking over for Cal Pickard, and you never asked the question of either one of those guys in 4 games.
Yes.
Are you any good?
Yep. Totally agree.
And just in closing, I guess if you were to go to Winnipeg or somewhere else, Toronto, and ask, hey, are you going to get behind the Oilers now? It's been a long time since a Canadian team has won the cup. You might get a different answer. This is not.
But
This
that's
is not the
why I
area.
only wanted to ask it in one market, and that
Yeah.
was this one.
Yeah, and that's why I gave you the Pennsylvania thing. It's like, no, that's a hated rival. You
Well,
don't.
we
cheer
didn't
for your
think that we
greatest
invented
rival.
like-
hockey.
So, but you
There's
so
nothing
you're,
to do with who invented hockey.
you're
That
saying
was
Alberta or Calgary? Like, no.
dude.
you
It's
be
a
a-
rivalry, right?
Like, pick your.
To be fair,
is it
you
the
guys
Dallas
also
Cowboys. Like,
you
would you be
live and
rooting for the
work-
Cowboys in the Super Bowl ever? Can you imagine? You know, just can't.
Does Michigan State cheer for Ohio when they're the last Big Ten team? Like, what are we talking about here?
You guys also live in the most transient city in Canada.
Oh, there's lots of Oiler fans here. Yeah,
No
don't know
one's
what
from
that-
Calgary.
that's
know what
even
that
why.
means, but I don't like
even
it. Big
more
word.
you don't cheer for them. They're around you.
Yeah.
You have to live with the arrogance and the 80s and the draft lottery wins. Screw it, Frank. We're not in on this.
I'm not suggesting you should be. I just wanted to ask
Actually,
the question.
Frank,
Yeah.
Actually, Frank, we've taken another approach to this.
Look, I
where-
like stirring the pot.
Yes,
I know you do.
when this you can be part of this. When we come up with the next bet, whatever it might be, the
Oh wait,
loser.
are you going to actually pay on one, or should we
Oh,
just keep betting
hey,
for no reason?
I was going to go to Philly and you weren't there. You're traipsing around the country. I was going to
yeah,
personally
you know,
deliver it to
actually
your
working,
house.
Rhett. You know anything about that?
No, I work smarter, not harder, Frank. I was going to personally deliver it, but the next bet, the loser is going to have to wear their Flames gear and get in the front row of that Oilers
The
honk
Moss
show.
Pit.
Yeah, whatever the hell it's called.
That's last place in our
on the
fantasy
show.
league.
Outdoor
We're setting
fan
that up for
party
this
all
year.
night.
Hey, you know, speaking of liquor, I got to tell you this story. I have made some unbelievable friends in Edmonton, and I'm a bourbon collector. I've been, you know my interest in this. Someone gave me $1,000 bottle of Pappy Van Winkle in Edmonton the other night. It's coming home with me in my suitcase,
Really?
and I'm really hoping that the old border guards don't ask what's in my bag.
Wow.
You better lock it up because those things tend to go missing.
Next time you're in town, I'll give you a pint of old Bill McGillicuddy. If I'm not sure where that ranks on your bourbon scale, but
And some fan listening would like to give me a cup of shit, I'm sure. And
oh
that's
no,
fine.
you know what? Very positive stuff with you today.
Oh, I'm
Fred.
sure I've been the most popular guy in Vancouver. Can I just read you one of the mean tweets?
Yes,
I did a
please
whole
do.
series of
Yeah.
these today. Frank, I will always remember how you homered the Oilers in this series. You never, ever appear on our shows or stations, you bum. By the way, the entire time I was in Vancouver every day, I did something on one of their shows every day.
I know.
LMFAO, they beat a third string goalie. If Demko is here, it's curtains for your Oilers. Like I care. The guy from Philadelphia, I'm suddenly an Oiler fan. Okay.
Orange.
Yeah.
Strong color.
And do you want one more for the road?
yes.
Frank, so I tweeted out a video of the Canucks getting faded by their fans. It was a great standing ovation for minutes well after they didn't show up in Game 7. And I said how cool it was, the video. Frank, don't pretend like you have some nice words now. It was incredibly obvious you didn't think Vancouver belonged here and didn't give them a sniff of respect. Don't act like it now. Take your Oilers jersey and move along where you'll get swept easily by Dallas.
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay.
Gotcha, Frank.
You
Got
Are
got
you
that-
covering a series in round 3, by the way? Or are you going to get some home time for a bit?
I'm going to go home for a bit. I'm slowly losing the title of husband and father, so probably need to see if I can hang on to that.
That's a good call.
And I will head back out at some point in round 3, but it's the beauty of the playoffs.
Rangers are close. A quick train in there.
Yeah, Manhattan smells
Like weed.
like a lot. Like
That's garbage.
you need a shower anytime you are
Hits.
out.
In fairness, I was just in Philly. It's not like it's a potpourri downtown there necessarily. Bit of a
Yeah.
shock. Hey, good luck. Get that bottle of bourbon and your Oiler pajamas all packed away. Get on your flight, and
What a time to be alive.
we'll reach out again next week. Appreciate you, Frank.
Love you,
Smell
Frank.
you later.
Smell you later. There he is, Frank Seravalli. Hockey Insider Daily Faceoff, dailyfaceoff.com. You can go to that website daily, find out what's going on there.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.